Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Chandra Kirana as a first author from Magister of Mathematics Education, Faculty of Teacher Training and Education, Universitas 11 Maret, along with the other author, Budiyono and Indriati. In this chance, I would like to present my paper with the title, Characteristics of Students' Creative Thinking in Solving Inquiry Problems. First of all, the background of this research is one of the most important skills to be developed in this field of education is creative thinking skills. Creative thinking is an original and reflective way of thinking and produce a complex product. Creative thinking skills are an important aspect for students to be able to solve a problem and find ideas to solve those problems. The development of creative thinking is currently considered very important in line with the development of 21st century skills, or as known as the 4Cs, in which one of those skills is creative thinking skills. Empowerment of creative thinking can be done by providing inquiry-based learning. Inquiry-based learning invites students to solve ill-structured but meaningful problems. With ill-structured problems, students can construct, analyze, and critique mathematical arguments. This study aims to describe the characteristic of students' creative thinking in solving inquiry problems. The characteristic of students' creative thinking in solving inquiry problems needs to be known in order to detect students' creative thinking level, so that students with a low creative thinking level can be given a stimulus that can improve their creative thinking. And these are the creative thinking indicator. In here, I use three of the creative thinking indicator. The first is fluency. That is generating many ideas or alternative answers in solving problems. The next is flexibility. That is generate ideas or alternative answers by using many different methods based on their own thought. The third is originality. That is generating ideas or alternative answers to solve problems or create new combination of parts of or elements which is not common for students' grade or their knowledge level. Next, Siswono formulates the level of creative thinking ability in mathematics as shown in table below. The first category is category 4, or very creative. The category very creative fulfilled when the indicator of fluency, flexibility, and originality fulfilled, or the indicator of flexibility and originality is fulfilled. The category 3, or category creative, is fulfilled when a student has fluency and originality, or students has fluency or flexibility indicators. And the category 2, or quite creative, is fulfilled when students has flexibility indicators or originality indicators. And the category 1, or less creative, is when students just have fluency indicators. And the last one is category 0, or not creative, is when student didn't meet all the indicators of creative thinking. The next is methodology. The design of this research is qualitative descriptive study. The participant is 20 students of 8th grade of SMP Negeri 1 Nganjuk. The sampling technique is purposive sampling. The instrument used in this research is creative thinking test instrument and interview guidelines. The data collection method in this study were test and interview. Subjects were given a creative thinking test, and the test is used to determine the level of creative thinking of students in solving the problems. And the last one is data analysis. The stage of data analysis in this study are data reduction, data display, and conclusion drawing. The result of of this research, the first category is category very creative. In figure 1, it can be seen that subject AA can mention 3 different planes that have the same area as kite. The subject AA can also draw these planes and determine the size of each plane. Therefore, AA fulfills the indicators of fluency. In figure 2, can be known that the subject AA can determine the area of the composite plane in 2 different methods. In the first method, AA divides the composite planes into 2 different planes, namely rectangle and trapezoid. In the second method, AA divides the composite plane into 3 different planes, namely triangle and 2 rectangles with different sizes. Therefore, AA fulfills the indicator of flexibility. Then, in figure 3, AA can find another plane that has the same area as the square. AA mentioned 4 different planes, namely kite, parallelograms, rectangle, and composite plane. The composite plane drawn by AA is a different plane compared to other students' answer, where this plane is a combination of rectangle and trapezoids. Therefore, AA fulfills the indicator of originality. The next is the results of category creative. In figure 4, the subject RA can draw another plane whose area is the same as the area of the kite. Subject RA can make rectangles, triangles, and parallelograms along with their sizes. Therefore, RA fulfills the indicators of fluency. In figure 5, RA shows that she can determine the area of a composite plane, but RA can only determine the area of the figure in one method. RA divides the composite plane into 2 different planes, namely rectangle and trapezoids. Therefore, RA doesn't fulfill the indicator of flexibility. In figure 6, it can be seen that the subject RA can determine another plane whose area is the same as the square. RA mentioned 3 planes, namely rectangle, parallelogram, and 1 composite plane with their sizes. The composite plane drawn by RA is a different plane compared to other students' answer, where this plane is a combination of rectangle and triangle. Therefore, RA fulfills the indicator of originality. Next, the result of category quite creative. In figure 7, the subject AWS just can draw a plane that has the same area as the kite known. And in figure 8, the subject AWS can determine the area of composite plane in 2 methods. The methods 1, she divided the composite planes in two different planes, that is a square and a triangle. And the second method, she divided the composite plane becomes 2 different planes, that is rectangle and trapezoid. Based on this answer, we know that in figure 7, the subject AWS didn't meet the indicator of fluency, while in figure 8, the subject AWS meet the flexibility indicators. Then the next, in figure 9, it can be seen that the subject AWS can determine another plane whose area is the same as a square, but she can only write one plane that has the same area, and that plane is rectangle. Therefore, the subject AWS didn't meet the indicator of originality. Next, the result of category less creative. In this picture, in number 1, the subject RAA can draw two planes whose area is the same as the area of the kite known. RAA can make triangle and rectangle, therefore, RAA meets the indicator of fluency. In number 2, RAA shows that she can determine the area of composite plane, but RAA can only determine this area in one method. RAA divides the composite plane into two different planes, rectangles and trapezoid. Therefore, RAA doesn't meet the indicator of flexibility. And the number 3, RAA can determine another plane whose area is the same as the square known, but RAA can only give one solution, and this solution is not different from other solution. So RAA doesn't meet the indicator of originality. The conclusion of this research is, based on the research, there are 4 categories of creative thinking, namely very creative, creative, quite creative, and less creative. Students fulfill category very creative if students can generate many solutions. Students can generate different methods in solving problems, and the solution that students make is different from others. Students fulfill category creative if student can generate many solutions, and the solution that student make is different from other. And then the next, students fulfill category quite creative if students can generate different methods in solving problems. And the last one, students fulfill category less creative if students can generate many solutions. That's all my presentation. Thank you very much for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.